3 rounds of discussion with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from a Zoom call in Columbia, South Carolina, Matthew, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. And his opponent from a Zoom call in Atlanta, Georgia, Daniel, aka the Executioner. Take it away, Matthew.
Thank you, Jesse, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. This is another episode of At Odds with the Unbreakable Spirit.
And the Executioner, Daniel Travas.
I'm Matthew Smith, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. Let's run through the topics.
Topic number uno.
Topic number 1 is the letdown that was the 2024 WWE Draft.
Number 2.
Vince McMahon has sold the last of his TKO shares, ending his historic time in WWE. For good, probably.
Hopefully. Maybe. Number 3.
The predictions for WWE Backlash. But first, we'll hop into topic 1. Since this is episode number 131, I believe, that means you start off.
Well, in my opinion of the WWE draft, it doesn't really the draft seems important and all, but it's just there's really nothing that surprises me because you have matches, but it has nothing to do with the draft. Because honestly, the draft has gotten to the point where it feels more like an actual sporting event draft. There's nothing to do with the actual, sport.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Whether it be like football, baseball, whatever. It's like, bro, hey, you got if you have a match going on between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, have a match with the pick on the line. The whole reason we watch Raw and SmackDown is for wrestling. You can, and I hate to say this, but I think they need to go back to the good old days where matches were actually important to the draft.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I agree that
we're going to eventually revert back.
Take a picture again.
yeah. I just think that when you watch the when you watch the WWE draft, there's really nothing that goes on with the draft that quite honestly feels that important, because it also gets kind of it takes the point of okay, you hire, you bring up Braun Breaker, you have him sign an exclusive, you do a whole bidding war thing, and then you make it oh, he's gonna sign with Raw or sign with SmackDown, but he ends up signing with SmackDown just to get drafted to Raw.
Yeah. So for some reason, the mic on my computer isn't working, so I'm recording on my phone.
Okay.
Plus, now I can actually hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, because the point of the draft, something look, yeah, sure, you get different programs and different storylines, but it's just if you're gonna make the draft worth watching, don't have I'm gonna shut up. What are your thoughts on the draft?
My thoughts are, honestly, and this is one of the few good things we will say about the PG era. When they had the draft in the PG era, it actually sort of was better in my opinion. Now I say that hesitantly because it's like it's basically just a bunch of interpromotional matches where the winning brand, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, or ECW when that was a thing, they would get a draft pick.
Yeah, and I honestly think if you truly wanted to make this draft unpredictable, like really make it, oh, you don't know who's going anywhere, have NXT get involved in the pick.
Yeah, and they sort of hinted at that but didn't actually execute on it with the gold trim of the draft logo for this.
Yeah, I mean, like, so great. People can get drafted up, so why can't?
Yeah, because let's be real, there's some people on the main roster that need to go back down to NXT.
Yeah.
But that's a topic for another episode.
Uh-huh. I believe when it comes to the WWE draft, that is just, and I agree with you, that it feels kind of like, because even when you do a draft, there's still people on said draft that you like, oh, right. I forgot you even work here.
Basically, you on a weekly basis.
Yeah. But I mean, like, look, because I will admit, if you truly want to, like, I feel like it doesn't really, to me anymore, feel like the draft is sort of, there were some things that happened at the draft this year that I was like, okay, that's a weird choice. Like, for example, you turn Chad Gable heel, but you still have him
drafted alongside Alpha Academy.
That's a weird choice.
Then you also advertised Roxanne Perez for the draft, and the day after, she's getting mad at Ava because she wasn't drafted when champions were protected.
Yeah.
Which sort of answered our question about Cody Rhodes, since he's the WWE, the undisputed WWE champion. He's staying on SmackDown because he was protected to that brand.
Yeah, I still think it's kind of, and I just want to get this out of my system, is that why, for most of Roman Reigns' title reign, were you calling it the undisputed WWE Universal title, to just all of a sudden switch it to the undisputed WWE title?
Are you really questioning WWE logic?
Yes, I am.
Alright, the timer just went off. Be on the lookout for that sound, people. That's when you know we're going to go into final thoughts.
Yeah. Final thoughts. Alright, my thoughts are this. I like the WWE. What I want out of everything for the WWE draft is to not, to go into the draft and be like, oh, wow, that was totally surprising. I totally did not see that coming. Versus watching the draft and, okay.
We didn't get that many surprises this year, which is why we phrased this as a letdown.
Yeah, because that's like the draft. Like my final thoughts is I want the draft to be a lot more, basically,
unpredictable
versus be like, oh, okay, like, oh, you got, okay, Liv Morgan staying on Raw, and you got, someone else go to SmackDown, we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We're like, what? Did not see that coming. Like, switch things up. Don't make it so. All right, that's my thoughts. Yours?
My thoughts are that, honestly, all I can say is I hope next year's is better. But we'll be back with topic number 2. are back with topic number 2. Vince McMahon has finally ended his time in WWE
Finally.
for good, probably, because he sold off all shares in the TKO stock, meaning he went from having I think it was 12% power or something, to 0.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Matthew?
Honestly, with the insane stuff Vince McMahon has done, this doesn't surprise me.
I mean, my thoughts on the entire Vince McMahon thing is, did I honestly think that I'd be watching a WWE product that would have not a single bit of Vince McMahon logic since the beta? Because what makes this even more insane when you think about it is Vince, yeah, well, his father started, had a small territory. Vince basically created this entire juggernaut.
Yeah. And that's crazy to think about. And Vince has been such a prominent figure in WWE. To think that we're finally entering an era that has been coined by Triple H's wife as the Paul Levesque era, it's just wow. This is really the end of the McMahon era.
Yeah. Because when you think about it, when there's, without Vince McMahon, in my opinion, there's a lot of things that are because Vince McMahon sure had a lot of good things, a lot of crazy things, a lot of things that made.
More recently, bad things.
More recently, horror. More recently, some what the fuck things. But it's honestly to me crazy that a man that basically launched the careers of so many Hall of Famers, so many.
Yeah. And without Vince, there'd be no Attitude Era, no Ruthless Aggression Era.
What?
There'd be no Rock or Stone Cold or Triple H or Undertaker or even Hulk Hogan for that matter.
What? But I mean, my whole thing with the Vince McMahon era is that you got a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. To me, it's crazy to think that we're living in a time where everybody seems to be a lot more enjoying themselves. Because this is just a weird thing I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but I have heard some reports out that the PG era under Triple H might be dead.
Yeah. What would we call this now? The revival era or something? People are calling it the new Attitude Era, the reality era. How about the real era, stuff like that? What about the revival era? Because it's reviving. It's putting the world back in World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah.
And evidence of that is happening this Saturday, actually.
Yeah, in France. No, not in France. Well, yeah, in France. In Lyon, France.
Yep. Even though they advertised it as Paris, then WWE relocated to Lenore, but whatever.
Yeah, they got. Yeah, it's weird that. Hold up, wait. Valid question, randomly, but why you say one thing, you say, "Oh, this is taking place in Paris," but you'd be like, "No. It's taking place over here."
It's still the same country. We just can't give the rights to the Eiffel Tower to use in our logo.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's crazy that look with Vince McMahon gone is, and I'm just gonna say this because there's a lot of wrestlers, there's a lot of things that is just like you wouldn't, like. Look, don't get me wrong. Vince McMahon has probably done some really questionable shit that we're not even aware of.
Yeah, but also he created 2.0, so that kind of negates it.
Yeah.
And I just want to preface people, for the record, we are not economics experts.
No.
And also, this was on like Wrestling 365. This is our first Wrestling 365 topic.
Okay. Anyway, I just find it, to me, crazy that we're living in an era where it's just truly, because this is gonna be a crazy take, but under Vince McMahon's, it kind of, the older he got, it kind of felt like, okay, you have an idea where stuff's gonna go, but under the Paul Levesque era, this is an honest take here, it feels like you don't really have an idea of, okay, where the fuck is shit going?
And and the Paul Levesque era has just started, but next year we're going to enter the Raw Netflix era.
Oh, yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen in 2025.
Yeah, seriously.
But, Travis, you need to pull up a match card for Saturday.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, right. I'll go first. Is it good that Vince is gone? Honestly, in my opinion, yeah. He was kind of too old to be running a wrestling promotion. And he was like the opposite of Tony Khan in all the wrong ways.
That's yeah. My final thoughts is it's honestly crazy that we're living in a time where you can't even say his name on WWE program.
Because
You
of
know what I
all
mean?
the scandals and stuff.
Yeah. And I also want to say this, and this is my really final thoughts here, is that does anyone else notice that it feels like Michael Cole has gotten better at commentary without Vince?
And since becoming friends with Pat McAfee.
But in general.
Yeah.
All right.
But let's face it, we all know somehow Vince is going to try to stonewall his way back into power eventually. We'll be back with the predictions.
We're back with the third and final topic. WWE. It's another prediction battle. The punishment. Matthew, would you care to tell everyone what the loser has to watch?
The loser has to watch a bad video game movie of the winner's choice.
Nothing is off limits.
Right after we added that, I immediately knew what I was going to pick.
Okay, great. All right. The first match, which is probably not even going to be the first match of this card. You got for the World Heavyweight Championship. You got the punishment of the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, versus main event Uso.
That's my choice.
Now, I will say, it would be nice to see main event Uso win, but I'm also wondering, is Jacob Fatu going to cost him the match?
I still think they might put Jacob in developmental. If you want to know why we're talking about that, listen to last week's episode.
Yeah. But yeah. I got Damian Priest, okay. The next match is for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship for the first time ever. Seriously, for the first time legitimately ever, you got the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, in his first title defense since beating the Tribal Chief versus the phenomenal AJ Styles.
God, you think that would have helped happen sooner? But
Yeah,
when you think about it, that's accurate. AJ Styles was in WWE by the time Cody had a stint in Impact.
I honestly think this is going to be the main event.
I mean, probably Cody's on the poster.
Yeah. So, who do you got? You got the American Nightmare, or do you got the phenomenal AJ Styles?
Crap, I have to choose between two Georgia boys. That's
Yep.
really inappropriate out of context. I'm going Cody.
Okay, I'll go with Styles. And I think this match is not only going to be no pun intended, no wait, pun heavily intended, a phenomenal match, but I think this is gonna be one of the matches of the year.
Oh, for sure. Especially since they brought back the Slammies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright,
Alright. The next match is another championship match. You got a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. You got Bayley versus Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi.
So we're going to have a wild card in this match.
Yep.
And I think the wild card is Naomi. I'm going Bayley.
I'm going with Tiffany.
Which means Naomi is the wild card.
Yes. And the next match, for some key reason, is happening. I have no idea, but you have for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, you got the Kabuki Warriors. For some reason, and I don't know why this is happening, but you got the EST, Bianca Belair, and the Storm, Jade Cargill.
At the WrestleMania predictions, I made the mistake of not choosing Jade Cargill's team. I am not going to repeat that. Give me the strongest Storm.
I like that. But it like I said, that match is happening for some reason.
Yeah, like remember when we thought Bianca and Jade were gonna have a rivalry?
Yeah, and
Don't want that to happen.
yeah. The next match is Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa,
Ooh.
and Tama Tonga.
Yikes.
And by the way, this is a legit rumor. There is a rumor going around online that Jacob Fatu is gonna debut at this event.
Again, if you want to see our thoughts on that, last week's episode. With what we have seen Tama Tonga do to Kevin Owens, you would be crazy to go against the Bloodline.
Yeah. Like I said, if Jacob Fatu is rumored to be a part of this new Bloodline, nobody's safe.
For that reason, I'm choosing the Bloodline. I am not going against Solo and Tama Tonga.
Considering this would be Tama Tonga's WWE pay-per-view debut.
And one-on-one and match in general.
Yeah. Minus a house show match, but no one really cares about
that.
Yeah. And one more match that, well, let's see, let's see. By the way, I got CNBC Sports for this. They had two more matches, but I don't know are confirmed yet. Chad Gable versus Sami Zayn, and the other one is A-Town Under versus Street Profits. I don't know if that is happening.
I don't think the Street Profits are. I thought the Street Profits match was happening on SmackDown. But I can probably find out.
Yeah, those are all the matches that I could find.
Well, just in case they happen, we should probably predict the two other ones, just in case.
All right, I predict if the Intercontinental title match, I predict Chad Gable.
Okay. My note froze. I hate that happens. And for the WWE tag,
I got A-Town Under.
you got A-Town Down Under.
Yeah. Again, we don't know if these matches are confirmed or not for Backlash. To clarify.
And also just to clarify, if I only said one of the reasons I said we predict these is just so we don't end up in a tie.
All right. Do you mean to the honors?
Hey, you're the one that's gonna end this episode.
Roll, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week. Roll that outro.
Thank you for listening to At Odds, hosted by the Unbreakable Spirit
And the Executioner.
edited by the Unbreakable Spirit. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MTS_life_0126.
You can follow me on Instagram at DanTravis121, and you can also follow me on the Twitter at DanTheExecutioner21.
And you can follow the podcast at Odds Podcast. We'll be back next week with more debates and discussions. But until then, the Executioner and the Unbreakable Spirit will still be at odds.
Thank you, losers.